Hi, this is Chris Peterson once again with the Preaching Autobiography 1. So I'm just going to jump right into it. My preaching experience has not been particularly consistent. I had an opportunity when I first came to the faith. On my submarine, there's no chaplains, no pastors, anything like that. And so I had the opportunity to give a message before I got out, which was wonderful. I received a number of words of affirmation, which definitely helped with my uneasiness of getting out of the military initially to pursue ministry. While at my undergraduate, I had a few opportunities while at the school, in the preaching class and the church that I was interning at. I had a few opportunities to preach a message. Again, there wasn't a once a month, every other week. There was no set structure for when I would give a message. Um, it was mostly if the pastor needed me to, or if I asked. I did start through an internship over a summer. I started a youth ministry in Fallon, Nevada, and so I did get to preach at that time fairly consistently to the youth, and then to big church a number of times while I was there during the summer of 2013. Since then, I am now in the Army Reserves, and I preach uh, every other month as it's set. Um, but I have informed my supervisor. He knows, since he's had a number of opportunities. He's been in for years to provide messages and to read the word to soldiers, that I would prefer to be the one to give the message once a month when we meet for our soldiers. And then this summer, I will be extensively during my active duty stint. I'll be the only one present to give messages, so that will be a weekly basis. As far as a listener and participant in communities of faith, I find, and I'm very, um, it troubles me at times, and I'm conscious of it, that I can be very critical of a sermon. I will sit there with my Bible open, and if the pastor decides to, go through the original languages, especially Hebrew. I'm far more familiar with Hebrew than I am Greek. Um, then I will look up the words that they use and see if they mean what the pastor says they mean. And I find myself wary, especially of, and honestly, it hurts to even say, but um, non-denominational, Pentecostal, charismatic churches, um, because of the experiences I've had there, I find myself more wary of the word that's being preached. So I go in and I'm uneasy until I can feel that whoever it is preaching, until I can feel that they are trustworthy. Um, and sometimes that takes some time. I mean, it took some time with my home church when I was in Sacramento. It took some time with the lead pastor. Sometimes his messages were not structured well. They were all over the place, and or they would have 5 points with 3 subpoints per point. And while his scripture wasn't off, it was just too much. It was more of a lecture than it was being there with the congregation. And I know for myself and for some, um, I like my classes to have lectures in them, not so much my messages that are at me. I like to go through it together, which is something that I am very much enjoying with the truth telling book, because it incorporates narrative into the lessons that are being learned. There's this intertwining of narrative from culture and Bible, Jesus, and then also giving you, some actual lessons that can be learned, intertwined throughout that. Um, the tragedy, comedy, and fairy tale I find to be hugely relevant, because narrative and fairy tale are things that our society loves. They resonate with. They bring into their homes and their hearts. Um, but other denominations, other affiliations, such as um, Pentecostal, Lutheran, really the high liturgical uh, churches are ones that I know that there's a higher standard for their pastors, and I find that I can walk in and be more accepting of the word that's being preached there. And then to end, the area that I feel I'm being called for giving the word in service of God's mission right now is the Army. And so I'm working in that, and I'm making sure that what I say is relevant to soldiers, but that I'm not taking things out of context. I'm not making something that was meant for Israel something that is now being made for the United States, because often that isn't the case. But that's what I have, and I look forward to talking to you later.